Alright guys, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video here with Chris, and today we're going to go over the last color in Cross Spirits, which is going to be blue. But, as always, make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you guys know when I am posting content. We do post videos weekly on the channel, as well as a link down below to the TCG player of mine for my store. So if there's any cards in the video you guys like, make sure you guys hit that, you guys can get some of those cards. If you are a subscriber, if you guys send me a picture of that, I do give discounts on some of that stuff for my subscribers, so just let me know and we can tag that on. So before we get into the color, obviously we're going to go over some context for the color. And outside of King Vegeta, this very aggro King Vegeta deck that we've seen, the format is going to favor blue to an extent, which is going to favor, just control meta in general. Blue has access to a lot of good mid and late game cards now, especially with stuff coming in this next format, which just makes blue kind of the mid range of blue much stronger. Now blue is still lacking some good removal outside of the Boo Unison. Blue doesn't have a lot of good board removal, and that is going to be a problem moving forward. I'm sure blue may get something in the works, but there are a lot of blue cards that are kind of in that mid-range to high, probably more on the mid-range side, but there are still some pretty expensive blue cards too. So if you're trying to play blue, it is still a little expensive. Now, one of the big one of the big things in the meta really right now is blue. There's no real good blue leader. Really what we're seeing is any deck that plays either one of these cards is going to be good. So if it's playing Planet Tuffle, which is going to be obviously Blue Baby, or they are using Galactic Buster in their deck, is probably going to be a good deck. So you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you have Soul Striker. Those are probably the two best ones. Bojack as well too, I guess, but Soul Striker and SS3 probably the two best ones there. And then Blue Baby being very powerful. Now SS3 Goku does kind of play a mix of both. So obviously it doesn't play the field spell, but it does play a lot of the baby counter cards. So it just plays Ready to Rumble, the baby's minion, so cards like that, Golden Ape, things like that. So it plays a very defensive style, but also it can play Galactic Buster as well, which allows you to combo with cards and do different things with that. But also Soul Striker runs this as well. Now, one of the decks that I do think is very powerful, that's not really being talked about a lot, is going to be Super Saiyan Super Saiyan True Trunks. 2 Trunks. So Trunks is a deck that has a very high ceiling. It's a very difficult deck to play. There is some RNG obviously that goes into it as well, but this deck has a very high ceiling and also a very high floor, and I think that's why a lot of people don't play it, because it is a very difficult deck. This is not a super easy deck. There's about there's 1 championship card and 3 promos that this deck needs to play, I believe. None of them are very expensive. I think 1 promo is like $18, but everything else is pretty affordable. But it's just because this deck's not played a lot. I think if this deck was played and actually was topping, people would be looking into it and being a very powerful deck. Now, this deck also has one of the strongest blue boss monsters ever created, which is the 8-drop Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, where he has Deflect and Barrier and Triple Strike. And when it's played and attacks, your opponent has to bottom deck 2 cards. And that's an auto. It's not once per turn. So when your opponent plays it, when you play that card on your opponent bottom decks 2. Then when it swings, it bottom decks 2. That's giving to 4 cards in a blue deck, something that has Barrier and Deflect. So you really can't interact with it at all. It's very annoying. Obviously you need 4 energy to play it, but it's not a big deal, because the way that this deck plays is you play out stuff to put into your life, which then allows you to ramp. Also has built-in board removal with its activate main, which you can bottom deck one of your opponent's cards and then restand one of your energy. That's really powerful. And also with blue being powerful, you're going to see an increase in green being played, and this card is an anti-green leader, with being able to get crit, which is something that green does a lot as well. It's also red, but you're able to reveal those cards, and then you're able to add them to your hand, or if they're cards that you can play out, you can either play them out or put them in your energy or do whatever. That's why I do think this leader would be very powerful. You think of something like King Vegeta, or any deck that is going to be running crit, any green deck that's going to run crit. It's going to put you in a very good position where you're not really losing any value because you can't be crit. So it is a very good thing. I want to see someone play this. Currently, we're building this for Jake to play. We have a list that we're going to be building, so hopefully we can end up getting all the cards and trying it out. Possibly get a deck profile on the channel, because I do think this leader is very powerful. Next, we're going to go into the upcoming meta changer, and truthfully, full disclosure, I don't think either one of the two blue leaders that came out in this set are very good. Hirudegarm is just the better out of the two, but I don't think this deck is going to be very good. The deck does have tons of support, which gives it a lot of different play styles, whether you have blue-green, or you have a main green deck. I think there are some options to it. I just don't think either option is very good. I think there's a good amount of blue cards that came out of this set, but neither one of these leaders are playable competitively. If you want to play around for fun, go ahead, but neither deck will probably do anything competitively, unfortunately. So not really much to talk about. Now, some key components. I wanted to do some cards that were a little bit different, rather than just the normal stuff that I could talk about, which is like Blue Baby, the other baby Unison, Ultra Instinct, things like that. So with blue, I want to talk about some just interesting stuff people may have not looked at. So Absolute Confidence is a card that I think most blue decks should be citing if they have it, if not mainboarding in some cases. Being a 2-drop, activate main or battle to bounce a 3 or less back to your opponent's hand and then draw a card, or remove a marker from a Unison, is very, very powerful in a lot of senses, because this is allowing you to not take damage from a Unison, or not as much damage from a Unison, or completely bouncing a battle card back to your opponent's hand and drawing a card, which is really good to get board removal and a draw for 2 energy. And in blue, that's not a really big deal, because you should be able to either Senzu Bean, Galactic Buster, or something to be able to get that energy back, or Zeno Unison. Next card is Gine, Heroic Support. This is an interesting card, because it's kind of like a weird version of... So I was looking at it, and really what I'm focused on is the auto, which is kind of hard to read on this card, I know. But it's a Sparking 5 if your leader is a blue Bardock's Crew or a Heroine card. When this card is using a combo from your hand, you may choose 1 blue or 1 Heroine card in your energy, add it to your hand, and if you do, add 1 mono blue Bardock's Crew or 1 Heroine card other than copies of this card from your drop to your energy in rest mode. So the idea is that you can take a card from your energy. So you can charge something, but it has to be a Heroine card. And then you can add it back to your hand and then add something from your drop to your energy in rest mode. So obviously the idea is that you would grab a energy that is in rest mode, add it to your hand, and then add a card from your energy, from your drop area to your energy. Now the main card that comes to mind is the 3-drop Rosie, which is a 3-drop deflect green card, which allows you to, your opponent drops 2 and it gets triple attack. It's a very interesting card. So you can play it. If it dies, you can then use this on your opponent's turn. Actually, you can just use this whenever. Yeah, so you can use this whenever. So then you combo with this to then add a card from your life or from your energy to your hand, and then you can put Rosie in your energy. It's a very interesting concept. I don't know how good it's gonna be yet, but I'm thinking about it, and the reason why is because my main Videl deck that I'm going to be trying to play is going to be blue-yellow. it's going to be blue-green, and this card is actually going to be able to be used in that. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it work. So I haven't really found the full way of how I want it to work yet, But this is a card that I do think will be good eventually in some facet, maybe, if Heroine keeps getting support. Now, the other card is going to be Intoxicated by Justice. This is a very interesting card. It's mainly for, it's mainly to deal with the silver bullets. So if your leader's blue and there are no extra cards in your battle area, negate the attack. You may choose one of your opponent's battle cards at a cost of 1 or less. Ignoring Barry, if you do, choose one. Your opponent may add the chosen card to the life face down. Draw a card, then switch up to one of your blue energy to active mode, or you place the chosen card at the bottom of your opponent's deck. And obviously that's one you're going to want to do. You're not going to want to give them a life. You're going to basically just want to bottom deck it. So it allows you to get rid of a lot of the silver bullets, true fighting spirits, things like that. Is it a great card? No. But it's really there for blue to deal with silver bullets, which is the biggest problem they have. Now, some important pickups from the set. We have both Calamity Challengers, which is going to be Son Goku and Tapion. Both are 1-drops that you can play out. Both you have to have a Unison in play. Well, one you have to have a Unison in play. The other one you have to have 3 energy. Both of them draw you a card. Tapion's a double strike. Goku is a deflect blocker, which also draws you a card. These are both very, very good cards. Goku can be played out as many times as you want. He does have a limit, doesn't have unique. Tapion does have Spirit Boost limit 1, so he's a little more fair. But being able to play out multiple blockers that draw you cards in cycle is pretty powerful. So definitely something to look at. And then we have Until We Meet Again, which is a promo card coming out of the new set, which is if your leader is blue, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, place them on the top of your deck in any order, and at the start of your next main phase, draw a card. This card also is not once per turn, so you can tap 2 to recycle the top 2 cards of your deck if you want to. And then at the start of your next turn, you draw 2, which is very powerful. Now, is it as good as Fighting Fates, or not Fighting Fates? The Bardock one from Draft Box, Intersecting Fates, that one. Too many fate cards. But the Intersecting Fates, which you look at the top 2, take a card, and the restand energy, it could be. Which this card would activate Battle. That'd be really, really good. But I do think this card still is pretty interesting because you do get to kind of see what you're going to be drawing, and then you can put them on top, and then maybe you have a super combo, so you end up drawing those 2 cards. It just kind of fixes your hand a little bit, but it is a very interesting card. I do think people should probably pick it up because blue, tournament cards definitely hold their value for the most part. So that's what I got for you guys today. Very short video for blue stuff. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit me up, let me know what you guys think of the video and the content, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.